2001, Jack White founded Third Man Records, an independent record label. And then in 2015, the label opened its second location, the first one being Nashville, one of the coolest cities. The second location here in Detroit, the coolest city, making vinyl really popular again. But every business has also had to shift how they operate during the COVID crisis. So with that, we are going to be joined now on the Oakland County Megacast, Ro Peterhans and David Buick with Third Man Records. Thank you for being with us.
Thanks for having us.
Hi, thanks for having us.
So, David, let's go ahead and start with you. Where are you right now? Are you in Detroit or Nashville?
I'm in Detroit. I am at our location on Canfield. I'm in our mastering studio. Ro and I share an office. We're apart for distanced office, but so he's in the office and I'm in the mastering studio right now.
Oh, okay. So I will say it is the coolest shop. If people have not visited, it's downtown and the Cass Corridor, which I don't know how long you two have been around Detroit, but if anyone would have said Cass Corridor was going to be the hip spot for all these businesses and restaurants, you'd been like, what are you talking about, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, exactly.
I've lived about a mile away from here for the past 25 years, so I walk to work, and it's definitely a different walk nowadays. It's you wouldn't recognize it if you remember the olden days.
It's definitely changed. For those that haven't been to the store, give us a lowdown. What will they experience when they walk in? Ro, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, sure. We have a large, by about 3,000, 4,000 square foot retail space that is very visually activated with artwork and murals and coin-operated novelties, along with, obviously, a record store and merchandise you can buy, all based around Third Man Records. So we're kind of a unique record store in the fact that the majority of what we sell is on our record label or things that we manufacture in the plant, the record pressing plant that's behind the store. So as you come into the store, you see all this great looking stuff on the walls. You'll pass by a what's called our blue stage. It's a live venue. So it's a portion of the store that transforms into a live music venue when that's happening. So we're obviously not doing much of that right now, but when we get back to it, you can check our website for great cool live shows there. And then you follow down this hallway that you sort of see a little cool light at the end of the tunnel and can enter into this glass atrium observation room that looks out over the pressing plant floor. So you can kind of step inside the pressing plant. So it's a very immersive retail experiential place when you walk in. You don't realize it from the storefront, from the street, but when you come in, it kind of transforms into something unexpected.
It is the coolest location. I will say, though, I remember back when you were first opening, and you're thinking, vinyl? Really? That went out with the 8-track tape, right? But vinyl is cool again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on who you talk to, what generation you talk to. For some people, it's never left, it's never gone away. For those diehard collectors and certain types of music fans, and then, for younger generations, the folks that are in their teens and their 20s and even in their 30s, it's sort of like a new format, a new medium. They didn't know this. It doesn't feel old to them; it feels new. So it's kind of an interesting thing. And then all of us old timers, have either maintained collections or, remember kind of when it was at its peak, when it dipped, and watching this kind of come back is a pretty amazing thing.
My husband has a stack. So we're in that second group there too as well. There's just something about the static, right, that comes with that vinyl, or when you had the skip, you needed a new needle. With that, David, do you want to talk a little bit about how the pandemic and the crisis has impacted your day-to-day operation?
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously we were shut down. We reopened to limited hours in early June, like everyone else. But the weird thing that happened, that we experienced, and I know a lot of other independent record labels and record stores experienced it, was during the lockdown, a lot of people were still buying music and vinyl online. because they had so much time, and it's, you know, a nice way to spend it is flipping a record and sipping on a coffee or a wine or whatever you want to do. So when the plant opened up, you know, they're swamped. They've been playing catch up ever since we reopened up. So that's nice news. And we've had a small, steady stream of, you know, diehard fans and supporters, you know, coming in person and supporting us. And, you know, everyone's kind of trying to help each other out, which is, you know, kind of positive and nice. It's a nice thing that we're learning during this pandemic, that we're all in it together.
Oh,
Yeah.
isn't that the truth? But don't
Yeah.
you miss live music? I cannot wait to go to my first concert.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. We were on the verge of traveling down to Austin in March. We were doing Third Man was doing a 2-day showcase at South by Southwest, the festival there in Austin.
Yeah.
And you know, I want to say that was, you know, March 14th. We were supposed to be down there doing that, 15th, 16th. And just the week before, we were in this big debate on, you know, can we do this? Can we not do this? And then everything just seemed to shut down at the same time. So we were, our whole experience here was, you know, entering into pandemic, having canceled a really exciting thing that we were going to do. But, you know, we quickly, you know, we're a pretty creative team, creative company. We work, you know, closely with our headquarters in Nashville, and everybody's involved with each other's projects. We tried to reinvent our business model, which doesn't take a lot because we have a really robust online store, retail experience online. But we took the approach to speed to market, you know, with the speed to market kind of thing, and took a lot of the releases that we were going to do spread out over 2 years, and we accelerated them into coming out very rapidly, almost one a week, two a month during the summer, and just watch business go crazy online.
Wow, so it's a good thing for you guys. You were able to diversify. You'd already had that set up. So one side is taking off, but the other side is pretty much dead in the water right now.
Yeah, we wanted to give fans something to listen to, something to do, and something to get their hands on, you know, while they were, you know, trying to reorganize their lives to be a little slower and more chilled out. Yeah.
Dave, do you want to add to that?
Well, Ro, you didn't mention the Third Man public access. That was something we did to kind of curb the, you know, everyone's appetite for live performances. We reached out to a lot of Third Man artists and a lot of friends of Third Man and asked if they'd like to contribute, you know, anything, a video, something, a message, a little short film. So we launched that kind of like you know, doing kind of like an old style MTV or variety show type thing with just the people could tune into on watch, you know, and kind of connect with people. So we've been doing that. We're working on a holiday Third Man public access as we speak. Well, we're not working on it, but someone else is. We're speaking with you. Yeah. So yeah, we just tried to adapt to, you know, just everything and give people something special.
So because you guys do live events as well and live performances, what is the thought process for your team and some type of time frame when that will even become a reality again?
I think, you know, as we're sort of navigating, you know, the coming year and looking at, you know, how do we roll back into this with maybe some version of an online streaming thing? But I think it really centers around a vaccine. I think as soon as people in the public start feeling comfortable and there's restrictions lifted and a vaccine is, you know, hitting the right percentage of the population, I don't think we're going to see any kind of large gatherings like that. And I think it's going to take even a couple of years to get back to a normal capacity, you know. But even something small scale, I think, you know, towards the end of the year, maybe the fall or early winter in 2021, I think we potentially could see stuff happening on a smaller scale, more intimate scale, but in person.
How are some of the artists surviving? My nephew is a drummer in Chicago, and while they are trying to find new ways to recreate themselves through online, it's not the same. They're not getting the revenue that they once did. And while we saw big, huge push in the beginning to try to support some of these artists. You don't hear much about that, but concerts haven't made a comeback.
No, it's really terrible. I mean, it's compounded. It's the artists, it's the live musicians who that's their livelihood, not necessarily being on recordings. It's
small
the
club
venues
owners.
the venues that are going away.
Yeah.
We're seeing a lot of action and attempts to try to put things together and go to Congress, but it's overwhelming. I think at the very least for fans or for consumers out there, to buy physical product and buy merchandise from bands and artists and things like that, that's right now one of the best ways to get them some money. When you can go to virtual shows, virtual concerts, where at least there's a ticket price that is providing some revenue. But that's the key. I think, buying vinyl versus streaming right now, you're gonna have more of that money going into the pockets of a musician if they're recording. And I think if musicians have the capability, getting back in the studio and just putting together quick ideas and quick projects, Bandcamp is a really cool website centered around more DIY approach to music, where the money goes direct to the artist. They're doing these great Friday and weekend sale opportunities and stuff. So there's some opportunities out there, but it takes some work, but it also takes the fans to spend on physical or ways that they can go direct to artists.
I believe today is a Bandcamp Friday, so anyone there watching, go to Bandcamp and buy something, because 100% goes to the artist on these. Bandcamp waives all their fees, and I believe today is one of them.
It is.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Do you wonder, though, what is going to be the long-term impact of this virus and this crisis for your industry?
I mean, obviously, we've already lost countless venues across the country and world. So that's just going to be, once bands and artists can get back out on the road, it's, without having as many outlets and places to play, they're going to be, struggling to find places to play. So there's going to be a competitiveness with the touring artists, which is a shame.
Yeah.
And just, all the venues and just everyone it's hard to say what it's going to be like. It's going to be challenging
It's going to take a while
for everyone.
It's going to be a rebuilding, because even when things come back, venues and promoters aren't going to have a dime to pay people. It's going to be a real challenge. So I think there needs to be some stimulus across the board centered around live entertainment and live entertainment venues soon. That needs to happen. It was similar to what we're seeing going on with the restaurant and the bar industry.
Yeah, Ticketmaster recently announced that one of the things they may require for people to have a vaccine before they'll actually release the ticket to attend a concert. Do you think that's going to be the way of the future?
I think for maybe large scale venues, sure. I think you think about big arenas and big huge theaters. I think that's going to be, just similar to the way that you have to show proof to go into certain countries, or I think even into Hawaii now, you have to show that you've either taken a test. I think it'll transition over to proof of, vaccination.
Peterhans and Dave Buick with us here on the Oakland County Megacast. They're with Third Man Records. Today is a big day for you and your team there at Third Man Records. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. I'll let Dave do it, because a lot of what's happening today wouldn't have happened without him.
Thanks, Ro. Today is the big release day for the White Stripes double record Greatest Hits album. It comes out today. We're all very excited about it. The White Stripes have been churning out songs since, over 20 years. And we decided it's high time to put out a Greatest Hits record. And it's a big release for us. And,
a great Detroit story too, right? A great Detroit story.
It's a fantastic Detroit story. Little duo that started, in the attic of their house over in Southwest Detroit, and now is putting out a Greatest Hits record that people are very, very excited about, and we are also very, very excited about it. Yeah, who would have thought? But yeah, we're all beyond excited, and well, that's what else is there, Ro, to add to it? It's just
I
something
think
for,
that we can go out on a high note with
yeah,
White Scope's greatest hits out today globally,
yeah.
worldwide.
Do you anticipate they're going to sell out? How can people get them?
You you can buy them at our locations. We're open, limited hours, 11 to 6. You can buy them online. You can buy them probably, I would imagine, at your favorite independent record store. Or your favorite chain store, but we recommend going to the independent ones and just supporting them. Yeah, you can. It's all over the place. It won't be hard to find. We hope it'll go into a second press, but we're planning on always having it available. So it'll always be here for you when you need a friend to turn to.
It's like you said, though, it is a great Detroit story, and we need those stories right now.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
That was Jack's whole thing, bringing it back to Detroit. He used to wait for the bus, to go to school, like right on the corner of this, of our street. And, he grew up walking the corridor from day one. Well, he didn't walk on day one, but being pushed through the corridor. So, that was his goal, was to, open up a place and, create jobs for Detroit and support the city that, raised him and loved him. And so, yeah, it's cool.
Well, and it's great what you and Jack and everyone is doing for the city of Detroit, because you continue to promote the city. And again, I always say, if you can turn Cass Corridor into a hip, cool place where people actually want to go and not just try to score drugs, it really, you can turn around any community and any neighborhood. But it does take a lot of work from people such as yourself and Shinola and Slows and so many of those other businesses down in that area to come together and believe in Detroit and make that comeback happen. Because I would imagine back in the day, no one thought that they would see the Cass Corridor look the way it looks now.
Oh, it was like a Wild West. It was, it was fun in my 20s and whatnot. But the neighborhood now is great. It's not just us. There's, a lot, all our friend businesses down here. Cold Truth has got great vegan soft serve ice cream, even in the cold months. It's the spot. Come down and go to Nestor City Bird or the brewery across the way, or Monger Provisions. It's, even in a pandemic, everyone around here is being safe and thoughtful, and you can actually come down and spend a little afternoon and, get a little semblance of normalcy.
Feel safe and okay about it.
Yeah.
That is so true. It's changed. And anyone who hasn't been there, they definitely need to visit. So we'd love to have you guys back anytime you have news going on, or when you can open back up. And boy, do we miss live music. So when you can get that side going, please come back on with us anytime. You can always bring Jack White on as well.
Of course.
We will. All right.